Hello, 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 everybody. This is your girl, Davisha L Johnson, and this is Monday Conversations with my Black people. So today, I just want to start early. Well, a little bit early, it's 10 o'clock. But I just wanted to start by saying happy 420. Today is, those of you that don't know, this is Monday Conversations with my Black people, and I'm your host, Davisha L Johnson. However, today is a special day because today is 420. It's National Cannabis Holiday. And for those of you that didn't know, I am a hemp advocate. This shirt I have on represents cannabis and hemp back in 2016 with the 420 Safe Access Rally. I was one of the lead organizers in the first ever opportunity for activists and educators and elected officials and candidates to get together to talk about hemp and cannabis in the state of Georgia, right around the time where people were just getting an understanding of what hemp was. And Representative Scott was crucial in her role as the vice chair of the Legislative Black Caucus to gather folks together to give information. So I did a couple series with her. I did this 420 Safe Access Rally. I started a company with another young lady called the Southeast Cannabis Symposium Series, where we went around the country and I went around the Southeast to educate people on cannabis and hemp. I started a hemp farm, partnered with a young man in Colorado with Cannabis South. Shout out to Nathan. Sorry. And I'm working on hemp policy in Ghana. So happy 420 to all of you cannabis and hemp enthusiasts. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. But today, on Monday Conversations with my Black people, we are going to talk about digital marketing from home. So for all you candidates out there and all of you people in politics, all of you creatives that are in the digital marketing space, this is the show for you. Our guest today is going to be talking about digital marketing. She is a former senior advisor for Bernie Sanders. She has a company called Terrence Political, and she is a genius at direct mail, graphics, websites, digital marketing. So she's going to come on in a second and talk to you guys about what that looks like as your hashtag PlanB. For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, this is your host, Davisha L Johnson. Today is 420, so happy 420 day. And we're going to get right into it and get our guest on the phone, Miss Kara Turntine. Are you there?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Doing great.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. So, Kara and I met probably about 3 years ago now at Nobel Women, the National Organization of Black Elected Legislative Women conference. I was there with Representative Scott, and I believe you were already doing campaigns. You were already in to your groove. So if you just can tell our guests a little bit about yourself and what your background is, how you got started, and then we'll start talking about digital marketing.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you, Ms. Johnson, for having me on your show. My name is Kara Turntine. I am the proud founder and owner of Terrence Political, which is a full-service agency based in Nashville, Tennessee. We provide campaign management strategy as well as a full creative house for the campaign. We work at every level of government or race, from the local city council race through president, and it's been an amazing experience. We got started back in 2016 formally when I left my corporate job to work on the firm full time.
So you left your job, your full-time job.
Yeah. I worked in automotive for about 13 years in marketing and pricing, and it was my first job out of college. And, had worked and kind of done the traditional thing, work, you get promoted,
right.
Have different roles. But I knew that I wanted to help the people get elected. And I had a friend decide to run for office, and I kind of got the political bug and just couldn't let it go. And then Trump got elected, and I knew I needed to do something different. I love the automotive industry, but it wasn't fulfilling because we needed to make sure that especially at the local level, that good folks that were concerned about working people, that were concerned about brown people,
Right.
were elected and making decisions about our lives. And so I decided to use my marketing expertise and marry that into politics.
Nice.
And
So,
yeah, I quit a good corporate job to start Turnsey
nice.
back in 2016. Yeah.
Nice. So did you hear that, everybody? So before COVID-19 happened, Ms. Turrentine decided to leave her good-paying corporate job in the automotive industry. Automotive industry ain't got nothing to do with politics. However, she decided, because that's what led her to be where she is today, but she decided to get herself a plan B and jumped on that opportunity and started her own firm. And now she has Turnsey Political. So tell us about Turnsey Political really quickly and what your focus is. And then we'll start talking about how we can help these black folks get a hashtag Plan B in digital marketing.
Yeah, so Turnsey Political, again, we manage campaigns. So I've been a campaign manager for various levels of races. I've helped teams develop strategy, get their campaigns off the ground. We've done everything from, helping a candidate get their bank account open, set up their operations, figure out what their social media is going to look like on the actual campaign side. Hiring staff like field directors and finance directors and, helping build a team around these candidates. And that's the nuts and bolts of it. Been able to take a candidate that has said, I want to serve the community, but I don't know anything about managing a campaign or running a campaign. How do we build an operation around them so they can get from petition day to election day?
Right.
And so, so that's great experience to have, because a lot of times you might work with an agency, they're very niche, they only do maybe one or two specific things very, very well. But what I knew for our model is that there were a lot of campaigns that didn't have the ability to hire 4 and 5 different agencies. They couldn't hire a social media agency and a communications agency and a direct mail firm and a campaign manager, right? They needed, a lot of times campaign managers have to know a little bit of everything to get started, because it's just them and the campaign a lot of times.
Right.
It's them and the candidate. You start off with campaign manager and the candidate, you kind of build from there.
Right.
And then the other side of the house is we're, an award-winning direct mail firm, and we won awards for our work in radio as well. And so I have the opportunity to work with really awesome creatives, graphic designers, videographers, photographers that are able to, create the vision for the candidate and the campaign, whether that's, developing a brand new logo or helping a candidate that is either an incumbent or maybe ran before us successfully, really rebrand themselves in a way that helps them, start off on a stronger foot.
Right.
Currency means truth exchange. And so our fundamental principle is we believe that once a candidate or cause can really hone in on their truth, then they can draw others in.
Right.
And once you and I believe the same thing, then we're going to have an exchange. I'm going to come and I'm going to donate time to you. I'm going to donate money to you. I'm going to give you access to my network.
Right.
And most importantly, I'm going to exchange my vote for the truth that I believe that you represent. And so we walk into every campaign with that fundamental understanding that we're looking for the truth. We're looking for the core common ground that we can find with voters, and that's how we've been able to be successful.
So at the end of the day, Turnsey, for those of you that are just tuning in, this is Monday Conversations with My Black People. We're talking to Kara Turrentine with Turnsey Political about digital marketing, and she left her corporate job to follow her her instincts and what she knew to be true at the moment, where she needed to help Black and brown communities get themselves together and get their campaigns together to help the community at large. She and I actually we're in the same profession. We're both young millennial Black women. We work together well. So for those of you that think Black women don't work together, that is absolutely false. Karen and I have a good time traveling the country and sharing ideas and putting those things together. So your hashtag Plan B, you do not have to do this alone. Those of you candidates that are out there that are looking for assistance, Kara has an amazing track record in the amount of races that she's ran and won, and the positions that she's held. So for you creatives out there that are in your corporate job, and she was in the automotive industry and marketing. So those of you that are in similar type of corporate jobs, you've been working 9 to 5, and you don't like it, you're tired of it, but you like the actual skill set that you have, there's an opportunity for you in politics. Kara did it, and she's been highly successful. So I want Kara for you to kind of talk about right now during COVID-19. There's a lot of these candidates out there that need help. So before COVID-19, we already know what that looks like from what you just explained about people needing a one-stop shop, essentially, because they can't afford to hire multiple different companies. So right now, for all of these campaigns that are going digital, whether that be an issue-based campaign or a political campaign, what do you think that looks like in the digital space right now for candidates? And then how can these black folks that have wanted to be, or are graphic designers, or they make websites, or they make flyers, even if they make club flyers, how could they get involved in politics in the digital space?
So let me start by saying digital is a fundamental requirement for any campaign in 2020 and beyond. If you don't, I personally am of the belief that you kind of start with digital. Digital is king. People have heard me say that at conferences around the world. It's important because a lot of campaigns won't be able to afford to go on television.
Right.
You'll hear the big campaigns say television is king, and there's a lot of truth to that. Right. But I believe that if we're going to get more young and brown folks elected, more progressives elected, more of our Latino brothers and sisters and immigrant brothers and sisters elected.
Right.
We have to really own our digital stories and our digital footprint.
Right.
And so if you are a creative, we'll start there. The folks that I work with are from all kinds of backgrounds. Most of them design for a living in one fashion or another. They started off freelancing.
Right.
They were working a job where they maybe were doing design in some capacity, whether that was in the marketing team or whether that was some kind of graphic design program, in the education field.
Right.
But they were freelancing on the side. They were putting themselves out there and building a portfolio of work.
Right.
And what I would say is that's one of the first things that I had to learn when I transitioned from my corporate job to going into politics is that I had to build a portfolio.
Right.
I had to get out there and do the work.
Right.
And be able to show, hey, I've managed a council race. I've managed a mayoral race. I've worked with people from all different backgrounds and all different budget levels.
Right.
And so being able to build a portfolio really helps you tell your story about how you evolved and matured and grown in your discipline.
Right.
Every piece of work won't be perfect or won't be great or may not necessarily be appealing to the person looking at the portfolio, but the point is to show the growth, to show the expertise, to show the ability to tell stories through images. And so I was to get started is to start freelancing, start doing the work. Freelancing doesn't necessarily mean free.
Right. right. Let's talk about that, because we're having conversations with black folks, and especially candidates. So let me just say this to your candidates out there: you get what you pay for. So if you can't afford to hire these separate firms, and you hire someone like Kara with Tendency Political, you're going to get everything that you pay for. So all of you candidates out there that think that you're going to get, somebody that does club flyers over here for $50, and they don't have any idea about what a political advertisement looks like, then you're going to get a $50 piece of work that really isn't, really doesn't fit your needs at the time. So Kara, because she's in politics, her graphic designers, like she said, are coming from all different backgrounds, all different industries. So it's going to cost you more than $50. But all of those other costs that you would pay individually, you can get them all from her, and she will work with you on how to get your campaign off the ground for not for free, because it's going to cost you. All you candidates out there that are looking for free work, you get what you pay for. So if you're out to win, which I'm assuming all candidates are, you're going to have to put some skin in the game, which means you're going to have to hire someone, and Kara has a team that she then hires, so everybody is mutually benefited. So you have people who are working on her team that are creatives, they build websites, they're in marketing, they're making their money because you're paying Currency Political to get your whole ish together. So all you people that are just tuning in, this is your host, Davisha L Johnson. This is Monday Conversations with my black people, and we're talking to Kara Turrentine with Currency Political about digital marketing. And what she just said is that if you want to get into the industry, for all of you creatives, if you've never even thought about politics, but you're looking at the situation currently right now with COVID-19, and you black or brown, or you're any variation of shade of me, and you're looking for a hashtag PlanB, while you're sitting at home on your computer, you could be harnessing your skills and building your portfolio of work so that you can get hired over here in the political space. And Kara, I need you to verify, for those of people that don't know, that are creators and freelancers on here, politics is good money, and it's 365.
Yeah, we are in the middle of a recession. Some experts and economists are saying we may be going into an economic depression. But one thing that has not slowed down is politics. The primaries may have been delayed a little bit, but the elections are going to happen. And so that means that candidates across the nation need graphic design. They need digital videos more than ever. They need strong social media strategies. They need the ability to text message and make phone calls and continue to have voter contact, even though the traditional door knocking model is on pause right now. So there is definitely a lot of work happening despite COVID-19. It's just important to be in position and prepared to put yourself forward.
Right. So basically what Kara just said is, for those of you that didn't hear her all the way in the back, politics is recession proof. So you can get this hashtag PlanB on Monday Conversations with my black people, and talking about digital marketing in the political space is recession proof. So if you're at home and you are laid off because of COVID-19, and you've been drawing on the side and playing around with Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, use this time to hone your skills and start building your portfolio so you can get into this recession-proof industry. And then, Kira, outside of graphics, I want you to talk more about the other opportunities in the digital space. You mentioned text messages and phones, and everybody knows social media is huge when it comes to politics. But talk about some of the things that you can do with social media in the digital space, as well as the text messaging and all that.
So, on the campaign side, I think anyone running for office right now needs to have a really strong recipe of voter contact channels that you can do from home.
Right.
When we look at social media, any good campaign manager is going to tell you that your social media presence really starts long before you have decided to run for office.
Right.
And so, the things that you text and tweet on Facebook and Twitter, the kinds of pictures you post on Instagram.
Right.
A lot of candidates sometimes have to go back and do some cleanup
before
they launch their campaigns, and it's so important because you really can never delete anything.
Right. The internet is forever, people.
The internet is forever.
Right.
You really always have to be. You're running for office even when you're not running for office.
Right.
Whenever you put yourself forward, people are going to go back and dig up and check out and research. And that's just the nature of the business. And so, building your social media footprint, your digital footprint, it takes a lot of work.
Right.
It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of thoughtfulness.
Right.
It's more than just creating the page on Facebook and throwing up a profile picture.
Right.
There's a lot of science behind it in terms of targeting, who you're going to advertise to, in terms of identifying the best messages that work for the audience you're trying to reach. And there are careers dedicated to social media optimization. And so
Right.
there's a lot of great tools that are available to use. But even the process of advertising on digital, is political.
Right.
How accurate do your ads have to be?
Right.
How consistent do they need to be? Can you, change your facts, in the middle of the campaign?
Right.
Who can spend the money to do the advertising?
Right.
Even the whole process of how digital and social media works is political, but it is certainly a worthy investment, and
Absolutely.
oftentimes the most affordable way for candidates to put themselves out there.
Right.
In terms of text messaging, I think that's another critical tool that folks are going to need, especially under this COVID-19. I mean, text messaging has continued to rise over the previous election cycle.
Right.
It's just a staple tool that's needed. But, the ability to text message and send links to other websites, videos, social media places. Again, it's all interconnected together in your full digital plan. And so, the idea of integrating all of your channels is really important.
Absolutely. So did you guys hear that? So she said integrating all of your channels. So for those of you that spend a lot of time on social media just in general before you decided to run for office, or even if you have a business and you spend a lot of your time on Instagram, let's just say you're a chef and you post all of your pictures on Instagram, when you talk about really getting into the business side, because some of this stuff in the campaign world and in politics is just like running a business. So when you start getting into sharing your stories and trying to get your brand out there, integrating all of these things to all these social media channels and text messaging and website links and all of that is important for building your brand effectively and efficiently, because politics has a deadline. It's a time clock, and time's waiting on no man. So if you are running for office and you are in need of some help with trying to either start your campaign or get you some presence on social media, that's what Kira at Turn C Political is talking about this morning on Monday Conversations with My Black People, is how can you use your talents at home? How can candidates at home during COVID-19 better utilize the digital space? And that is something that her company does very well. So, Kira, I just want you to tell us in these last 5 minutes. No problem. I just want to tell you, I want you to tell our guests in this last couple minutes, where are you? How can they find you? What are your social media links? What's your website? And then what do you have to say to all the creators out there that may be looking for work, or they're sitting in their 9-to-5 job right now thinking about their hashtag PlanB and they like to come work for Turnsey or apply or something? Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, Davisha, I was fun to chat with you. I appreciate you so much, and I'm grateful to be a part of the show.
Thank you.
And to support your amazing work. And I just encourage your listeners to know that you're a really great resource for entrepreneurship and
Thank you.
Just, beating the streets and getting the grind done. So
Right.
I work really hard to try to keep up with you, so I appreciate you having me on. So we're in Nashville, Tennessee, but we work all over the country. We work as far west as Missouri. We've worked down through the South. We've worked in, Maryland, Pennsylvania. Virginia on the East Coast, South Carolina. We work everywhere, and so politics is a international industry, as you know so well. And so, connect with us online, turncypolitical.com, info@turncypolitical. Give us a call. At our number there on the website. But you can be on Twitter at your Turntime. I'm active on there. And, talking about in this age of Trump, how our lives are really at stake. And how we've got to get good people elected. And that's going to take a really strong digital work to get it done in November. So I just encourage everybody, just as a closing thought, to really follow your dream and your purpose. I stepped out and started currency political because I just felt that was my calling. That's what I was born to do. And
right.
It took me a little time. It took me a little training ground to learn everything that I learned in the corporate space. And I use that in my business every day.
Right.
I use that discipline. I use that expertise and the things that I learned, in that training ground in my business. And we've been successful because we built good relationships and we've done the work and we've been consistent,
right.
And really kind of honed in on what we're good at. And so I just encourage everybody looking for their Plan B, that you're doing what you're called to do, what you're born to do,
right.
And that you work really hard to find that, and then put everything that you can into it. I'm not telling anybody to go out there and quit their job today. And if you're like the 10 million people dealing with COVID,
right.
That have recently been laid off, this is a great time to get focused on what would you be doing if you didn't have to go back to that job in a couple months, when we get back on track. So, this is a great time to get focused on your passion and your purpose and doing what you feel like you're really called to do and start laying out that plan.
Right.
So, I'm happy to talk to anybody that wants to know more about that journey and that story. It took me about 3 years to actually leave the job.
Okay.
And to be able to actually leave and not have to, fumble in between. I mean, you still got to eat. You still got to pay your bills. You still got to have gas in your car. So how do you do that?
Right.
It took me 3 years to build that plan. So I'm just excited that your audience is working on Plan B, and I just wish them much success.
Thank you, Kara. I just want to say thank you, Kara Turrentine, for coming on Monday Conversations with My Black People. Hey, Kimberlyn Carter. Kimberlyn Carter is another amazing black woman in politics. And Kimberlyn, this morning, and all of my other guests, we are talking to Kara Turrentine and Turn Political about digital marketing from home in the political space. And just to sum up our conversation, Kara basically said she left her corporate job in the automotive industry making good money. It took about 3 years to leave the job because as you're thinking about your hashtag Plan B during COVID-19, don't just jump off the bridge. Build you a parachute or something before you jump off of there. But what she said was that she left her corporate job to start Turn Political because she wanted to help black and brown folks make sure that they get elected to office. And all of you people in the creative space, whether you're a writer, you're a photographer, you're a graphic designer, and you're at home, politics is recession proof. And you can make good money over here in this political space, whether you start that as your side hustle and you start to build up your portfolio. These candidates out here right now during COVID-19 still have to run for office. A lot of them don't have the money to get on TV. There's not anybody knocking any doors right now. So guess what they need? They need digital. They need digital work. And Kara Turrentine at Turnsy Political provides such work. She is available. Her website is in the comments on this live. And she is available to take calls from candidates from all around the world. She's the former senior advisor to former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. So she's gone from the bottom all the way to the top. And now I want you guys to think about, as we're closing out this show, Kara, thanks for coming on. And if you guys want to think about a hashtag Plan B and you want to make some money right now in the political space, call Kara. DM me. Text me, call me, go to her website, visit her on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and go get your hashtag Plan B together. This is Monday Conversations with My Black People. I am your host, Davisha L Johnson, and we will see you on Friday. And please, black people, please, as you're sitting at home right now, thinking about your life and your situation, and you watching cartoons with the kids, because they ain't doing no homework, but you watching cartoons with the kids, and you're thinking about what you could be doing with your life, and you know you've always wanted to be a graphic designer, or you write really well, and you're interested in politics because of the shenanigans that are going on in the White House. Your people are dying around you, and you're wondering why. It's all related to politics. So if you want a greater understanding, and you want to make some money, and you're pissed off, frankly, and you just want to do something, if that's the case, whatever the case may be, black people, go get you a hashtag Plan B. This is your girl, Davisha L Johnson, Stay black.